This is going to come as a huge relief for foreign investors. The threat of triple taxation on foreign investors is removed as of now. Central Board of Direct Taxes has put its earlier circular in abeyance. CBDT has told that it will have a detailed discussion with concerned foreign portfolio investors before taking the next step. Surabhi Upadhyay now joins in with all the details. So Surabhi, if the CBDT circular had not been withdrawn, then every AMC, every fund house would have been impacted, those holding more than 5% equity in an Indian company.
Well, it would have been every fund that derives more than 50% of its value from Indian assets. So more than 50% of the total holding of the total corpus. If it is invested in Indian shares, then those kind of funds were falling under the purview. And investors in those funds, which hold more than 5% of the equity or 5% of the corpus, they were subject to taxation. That is why the hue and cry. There was a huge representation made by foreign portfolio investors, essentially saying that don't, double tax us, or in certain cases, triple tax us. Their big argument was that the fund anyway is subject to taxation. Fund will have to abide by the law of land and pay tax on whatever sort of capital gains arise, short-term, long-term, and whatever is the prevailing regime. Then why do you separately want to also tax investors? Because that then starts amounting to double taxation. They also raise certain issues with respect to the administration, because the fund would then have to withhold the tax, trace these investors, keep a track of all the redemptions that are happening. So it was also, the argument was that it would also be a very difficult administrative exercise. So now that this has been put in abeyance, Ron, I can tell you, huge relief in the market, the reactions that we've been getting already. So it's a sigh of relief for sure. But let's remember that this has now been put in abeyance. We still need to see what the final guidelines and what the fine print is going to say. But obviously, the hope is that with this coming even ahead of the budget, the government will realize that the concerns are legitimate and will not look at additionally taxing India-focused funds.